Welcome to the 19th episode in this NIMBY Rail series where we are rebuilding the entirety of the National Rail. We're going down this in alphabetical order. Today is N for the Northern. Let's get into it. Last time you saw this series, we were down into Liverpool for the Merseyrail Rail, and today we are all the way pretty much around this entire area for Northern. Because the Northern is so massive, I will be going through the Wikipedia page and going through the services from top to bottom. So firstly, we're going to go all the way up to Carlisle and do the line all the way up to Morpeth, where apparently there's a whole queue of LNER trains. On an unrelated note, I have just built a separate platform for the Northern and the Lumo, so at least we won't have a massive queue of trains up there. But for that, we are going to come all the way down to Carlisle. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to come along here, just up this little gap through here, and work our way to our first couple of stations. We'll quickly come back and fix that though, and then our first station will be Weatherall, which will be just up along here, which I'm going to put up on a viaduct. And across something like this. So at least this will be perfect like that. Now from here it's a little bit difficult, so I'm just going to pretty much kind of guess kind of the direction that we are going in. Seems to be in this direction so far. So it looks like we're going to come along through this section and up through here. The next station will be in this gap, and this will be Brampton Station. We'll just come back and fix that as well, and also just slightly move these over a little bit. Now from here we're going to continue this kind of like guessing game and try and figure out where we're going, because there's not quite a lot to go by along here, apart from a few sections. Apart from coming along down here and going into this gap here. And now we're just going to very quickly fix that and that, and then go back, and then we can continue on to our next station, which will be just down the road. And the next station will be in this bit here, and this will be Holtwhistle Station. I completely said that wrong, but Holtwhistle Station is there. And now we're just going to continue along our way to the next station. And the next station will be Barlon Hill, and it will be in this spot here. So we're just going to very quickly connect this up with the line here, and then we can continue on to the next station. So I'm just going to put a bridge all the way along these. Just continue along, and then come round all the way up to Hayden Bridge Station, and like always connect that and continue on with the route. So our next station from here will be Hexham. So I believe it's just round here and down. We should be pretty much approaching Hexham now. Well, I'm just going to do that. Also, whilst I'm fixing it, fix that too. And yeah, Hexham is just down there. So we're going to come along and up onto a bridge, and all the way down into Hexham now. and into Hexham station here. So now from Hexham we are going to come over to our next station of Corbridge. We are pretty much in the middle of Carlisle and Newcastle, even though we're a little bit further than middle. But we're going to continue all the way along and into Corbridge station right here. And our next station will be down here at Riding Mill. That'll be in just here. So as per usual, I'm going to connect up, just fix that slightly, and onto the next station at Stocksfield, which will be all the way along and up into here. So just repositioning the station so it will at least work, and then we can continue on to the next station. And into your mother's station, and as you can tell by the name, that is why I am saying this is your mother's station. But just moving this as close to that as possible so we can at least get a good entry / exit out of it, and then we can continue on as per usual to the next station, which will be over here up to Wylam, which is actually nowhere near the town because it is across a bridge from it. And then we will continue on along to the next station, which is quite far away. So we're going to come along this industrial estate and come along through down here and into the next station of Bladen. Just move that one as per usual. And now we are coming into Newcastle. So just going on along. Just put a bridge all the way across that. Along into Media Centre over here. And now I'm going to come out of Metro Centre here. And come down this line here. I'm going to come along here. And down here will be our station of Dunstan. So from here we're going to come down, and we're also going to be curving along here and onto this line into Newcastle station, where we'll be using this platform here to terminate Northern Line trains, but we will also be coming into the top one and coming straight out to go all the way up to Morpeth. But before we can do any of that, we do need to build in a couple of these stations. The first one being Manners Station, which will be located in this gap here. We'll just put that a little bit further like that and have that curve out, and also going to add that curve there. So at least we'll be able to use those platforms there. And our next one will be Cramlington, which is already built into the line. But what I will be doing is I will be doing a fast line just next to it, so at least fast trains can just go straight past, like the LNER trains and Avanti West Coast 2. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the Hexham all the way down to Nunthorpe. So what I am actually going to do is I'm going to move this platform just slightly over a bit, so at least I can put in a different platform here at Hexham, and I will also just put that into there, so at least we'll be able to terminate trains at Hexham as well without any other issues. But now luckily, because we've done the line up to Newcastle, and I have also already put in the line from Newcastle all the way down to Middlesbrough, we don't have to do much, but we do need to come over here and also make a curved line all the way across here and into the line there, which will also go through all of these stations here. And now from Middlesbrough station, that line will continue, but I am also going to have this line just continue like so, and also just come all the way along to our next station, which will be located in this bit. So James Cook Station for the James Cook University Hospital, and then from here we are going to continue down to our next station, which will be here. This station will be called Malton, and next station will also be here. That will be Gypsy Lane, although I will move the line up there and then connect this up with the hospital all the way up here, and just do a curve something like that, and then this will come into Nunthorpe station right here. And that is also the Hexham to Nunthorpe line complete. If you was paying attention, you would clearly see that it is a brand new day because I am wearing something completely different, but that doesn't stop us doing this, because we are about to do the Middlesbrough to Whitby line. Comes all the way over here, and that will be coming through Nunthorpe. So from Nunthorpe, what we're going to do is we are going to come out of it. We're going to slowly but surely bend around such like this, and then we're going to follow this curve down by Newton and come into Great Ayton or Ayton down here. And the station will be located in this gap here. So I'm going to very quickly come back and fix this, because for some strange reason it's not working, but then we can come back down here and get this into our next station, just like that. And I think with the nature of just random bits and bobs about, I think it's going to be easier to put in our next station, which will be Battersby, and I'm fairly sure it's just here. With this said, we are going to be moving up here, and this line will be following over in this direction. So I'm just going to very quickly move this across like so, and also come back onto Great Ayton and get the angle that I need to get into Battersby through this section here. So it'll follow something like that. So we're going to come into Battersby through here and then reverse out towards Whitby. And then our next station will be Kildale Station, be located roughly around here. Then we're going to do something like that. And now our next station will be Commondale. We're going to bridge over this and try and get our way around into Commondale. Where the station will be located just here. So I'm going to bridge across all of them and then make sure we stay above this river. And then our next station will be Castleton Moor, which will be located in this spot. So we're going to have a really rough curve coming out of it, just like so. And then following this, our next station will be Danby, which will be easy enough to get to. And then the station will be right here. And we're just going to come back and kind of fix this corner into it, and then continue on the line. Firstly bridging across this, and then coming straight back over it once again to come in to this direction. And we're going to fix this up a little bit like so. Now it's just pretty much a straight line to our next station. Which will be alongside this road. And this will be Lilholm Station. Well, then we're going to come down here and around. So from here we're going to bridge all the way across like so. And start curving along here. And start curving up here towards our next station. of Egton Bridge. Of Egton. So now we follow across and up on a bridge across the river and along this section here, where I've got this completely wrong and the station is actually all the way up here. But I'm going to get this in this spot perfectly, so I can then get rid of all of this section and then link these two up so I can actually use this bridge. Like so. Now from here we don't have many stations left. And we're going to curve up this little section and into our next station just here, which will be Slates, just like that. And from here we are just going to be following this river, and we have 2 stations left. One of them being Ruswarp Station, and then the other one being Whitby, which we will be approaching in a second. And into this station up here. Just like so. Now with the Middlesbrough to Whitby branch done, we now need to do Darlington to Newcastle, but luckily for us that is already in place because both of the LNER and the Avanti. Although I have put in place a brand new platform at Darlington just to accommodate the Saltburn service as well, which we will be doing now. So all the way over to Saltburn station we go, and into this spot here, and on we go. Well, we are very quickly followed by our next station of Mask, and then also quickly followed by Longbeck. But I'm also just going to make this platform a little bit longer, and then we can continue on to Redcar. But the first station will be just behind this primary school, which will be Redcar East. And then at the top of this line, all the way over here, will be Redcar Central. And now from here, we just follow the line. All the way down to the next station at South Bank. Probably commonly used for the Asda right there. And then from South Bank, all we need to do is come straight down this section and then into Middlesbrough station right here, followed by Thornaby, Eagles Cliff, and then coming off this section here, where the first station will be Allens West and will be located in this spot here. And we will continue down the line all the way down to Teesside Airport, where the station will be in just here. And then just going back and fixing these. And then the final station of this section will be Dinsdale, which will be at the very corner bit of Teesside Airport as soon as you come out. Then from Dinsdale, we just go straight down this path and connect up to Darlington station, where from here we are now going on a brand new line, which will be Saltburn to Bishop Auckland. So we're now on this line here, and we will be curving off around about this section here to come across here, where the first station will be North Road Darlington. And then we're going to curve up and then directly up as well. Where the next station will be just here, and then this will be Hyington. And then coming out of the station, we'll be coming around this bend and straight into our next station of Newton Aycliffe. Then coming straight out of that, we'll be going up to our next station of Shildon, which be in this spot here. And from here we're going to come up and then into a tunnel and then come out about here. And then finally into Bishop Auckland Station. And now for the first time in this episode so far, we're going to come all the way down to Manchester, but more specifically Manchester Airport. And the gap we would be looking for will be right over here. I'm going to put in 2 platforms just for now. And we're also going to have this section just like so. And then come all the way out of the airport by coming underneath this and connecting up with the main line here. So what we're going to do is we're going to race straight through all of this, coming up to our first station of Gatley. And then from here we are not stopping at any of the next couple stations. So East Didsbury will be going straight past. And neither will we stop at Burnage or Morpeth Road. But will curve across all of this and connect up to the main line in here. Coming back over to here, and we're just going to replace this with a tunnel instead. So now we will be coming straight through Manchester Piccadilly, Oxford Road, where I've also built a second platform, and Deansgate. However, we'll be coming out of Deansgate and straight up onto a viaduct across all of here. And across this section and all the way up here. And now from here what we're going to do is we are going to be skipping past all of these stations across here because our next station will be Bolton. And now we will be approaching Bolton. I'm just going to extend this bit to there, but we'll be using the left section. And as per usual, we'll be coming straight through this line and not stopping at the next couple of stations. And after Adlington, our next station will be Chorley. And the station will be right up here. And after Chorley, we kind of follow this pattern of just going straight past stations. Being Buxton Parkway, and then we're going to come into a tunnel underneath all of this. And come straight flying into our next station, which will be Leyland. Although for this particular route we won't be, but that is a northern owned station, so we will be stopping there. And just like that, we will be making use of these other 2 platforms at Preston. So from here we are just going to be using the exact same line as that, so we're going to connect up and use this main line all the way up to our next station of Lancashire, although we'll be using a separate platform just to help with congestion. But we'll continue along this line into Carnforth Station, which will connect up to the main line like so. However, what I will be doing is I'm going to delete everything here just for the moment. I'm going to completely rebuild this section, just like so. So our line currently will go this way, but there is also another northern section which will go over the track like so, and then I'm just going to connect that up and also connect this up with the main line and then connect this into here. And just to connect everything up as well, now this continue along like so, and this connects into here. And now from here we can continue our line all the way to Barrow-in-Furness, where our next station will be Silverdale. So I'm just going to continue this like so, and then just reconnect this up with the line. And from here we can connect up to our next station, which will be Arnside, and it'll be at the very top of this. Now we're just going to bridge across all of this waterway and to our next station, to Grange over Sands, and then continuing to Kent's Bank, which will be at the very bottom of this road. Now from here we're going to come out and pretty much make a massive U shape, because now we're going to start making our way up to here for the next station of Cark and Cartmel, and just instantly bending it over towards this direction and across this. And now I'm going to pretty much come up onto a viaduct across this and start curving as well, and slowly into our next station of Ulverston. And then it's going to be quite a little bit of a journey, but our next station will be Dalton. And just like that we are here. And then finally our penultimate station being Ruse, to be happily located at the very bottom of this section. And also me just messing that bit up. So Ruse station will be just opposite this Tesco. And I'm going to come out and follow all the way up to the terminus station of Barrow-in-Furness, where I'm going to put one platform in just here and another one just next to it, because we will be using these platforms for two different journeys, or more, or less journeys but more lines. Now, since we have the Manchester Airport to Barrow-in-Furness done, we can now continue on from Barrow up to Carlisle, and you can also see I finally have map styles in order to actually help me see where the tracks are. So from here we're just going to continue along this line and continue this loop. If you want to know the link to the map site, I will have that linked in the description, but for now we're just going to continue on for now. For some strange reason, that doesn't want to be nice to me. But also what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back down to here, and I'm also going to do this little loop bit, because we will also be using this for the northern. And now we can continue to our next station, which will be in this spot right here. And now we can continue up to Kirkby, which will be right here. And now coming around this bend section, we'll come to our next station of Foxfield. We're going to bridge across that little bit of water. We're going to come down onto the straight to our next station of Green Road. And now flying into our next station, which will be Middlesbrough. Picking that up with the last line, we can now just quickly go on to our next, which will be right here for Saltburn. So we're going to link this up with the current line that we're making, and we can go straight onto our next station. So going to come around this bend and up to Bootle Station. So I'm going to come up onto a viaduct all the way across this, and into Ravenglass Station. Ravenglass Station, sorry. So I'm going to bridge over the water and continue on to the next station of Drake. And this here will be Seascale Station, although the map style does not say it's there. So now after that we can now continue on to Sellafield Station. Since on NIMBY the line is currently on the opposite direction of what we should be, I'm just going to put in these two stations as double platforms, but I will just be passing through them on this line. But I will also make sure that we go stopping on just one side at a time. However, this here will be our next station, and this will be St. Bees. And then we're going to come straight out and out to Quay Station, where there's also looks like to be a one platform station, so we will continue to use it as such. And then this station here will be Whitehaven. So just pushing that like so, we can have this into a tunnel. Also try to push this closer to what it should be. Now I'm going to come out at Whitehaven, and we are going to continue following the line, where this will be Parson Station. Swiftly coming out, and we shall continue. And just like so, we are coming into Harrington Station, albeit quite a curve coming into it. And then we're just quite simply and quickly leaving, where this here will be Workington Station. But we're also going to bridge across this little bit of water, and also come back down here to link that up. We're also going to bridge across this section of water and also continue. Where this station here will be Flimby. And then coming into Maryport, where yes, it is a one platform station, and we will be stopping it for this stop. And then coming into this station of Aspatria. I was generally kind of wondering when the next station would be, and it was definitely quite a while since the last one. And now this station here will be Wigton. And we have two more stations to go one which is already built so far. And then this in here will be the second Dalston on this line, named as Dalston Cumbria, and shortly we will be arriving into Carlisle. And just like that, we are coming into Carlisle station here. But I am also just going to have this connect into that line, and also have a connection between these bits here. Now from here we're going to zoom out and come back all the way down to Barrow, because we're going to come to Oxenholme, where I know there isn't a line here, but I'm going to put in a one just for the sake of the Avanti West Coast being here. And this will be the Oxenholme to Windermere line, although what I will do is make a connection there so at least running trains can go straight through. So our next station, or the first station really, will be Kendal, which will be located in this gap here. And then we're going to bridge over the river, which is probably called Kendal or something, and on to the first station of Burnside. And I'm going to come straight up to Staveley station, and then all the way to our final station of Windermere, which will be just over here. So firstly we're going to link that up, and we are also going to turn this into a bridge across there. And also now what we're going to do is we're going to do the Lancaster to Morecambe route, which will be easy enough considering Morecambe will comprise of just a couple stations, including Barley station here, Carnforth all the way up there, and Lancaster as well. Seeing as the map's on was saying this is our line, I am also going to add this in. Now with that line down, we can go down to Liverpool Lime Street. We're going to be doing the Liverpool Lime Street all the way up to Wigan Northwestern. So we're going to be coming straight through Edge Hill. But what we're going to do is we are going to be curving onto a separate piece of track which will go underneath. We're going to go straight through Wavertree Technology Park, straight through Broad Green, straight through Roby, but we will be stopping at Hoyton. And then we're going to come straight out. We're going to be curving up, straight through Prescott, through Eccleston Park, through Latto Heath, and then into St Helens. Now I'm going to come all the way around, going to come round this bend to our next station of Garswood, be located in this spot here. We're going to link to this line and then link up to the final station in this area, and then Wigan Northwestern. And that will slowly but surely come into Wigan Northwestern. Well, I'm also just going to put in a separate line as well. Across this whole section. So at least we can use this as a separate platform just for terminating trains. Now from here what I'm going to do is we're going to be using Liverpool Lime Street all the way up to Blackpool North. So we'll be using this exact line and then coming up the main line here. But we'll be coming into this platform at Preston and then curving off the main line towards Blackpool. So the first station will be Solwick, and going straight out. We're going to be flying over to our next station at Kirkham. just like that. We're going to be flying this way, but we also do have a line that comes down this way to Blackpool South, but we'll not be focusing on that just yet. Where we'll be coming into Polton Station. And then coming into Leighton Station. And then finally Blackpool North. Looking something like this. Now our next line will be Manchester Airport to Blackpool North, but we now officially have that all completed as well. However, our next line will be Preston to Blackpool South. So we're going to come straight off this line. And do all these stations along here. The first one being Moss Side. Lytham, Ansdale and Fairhaven, St Anne's on the Sea, where I have absolutely completely ruined this bit here, so I'll fix that. Squires Gate, Blackpool Pleasure Beach, and finally up to Blackpool South. Now our next route will be Preston all the way up to Colne Station here. So firstly we're going to come all the way down to Preston and follow this line down. Then have a little line that comes off. I'm going to come along this section here, up onto a bridge over the line, and then into our first station of Lowestoft Hall, where we're apparently going to connect up with another line and continue down into Bamber Bridge Station. And next station of Pleasantry, or Pleasantry, whatever the fuck. And swiftly into Cherry Tree Station. And then you wouldn't believe it, there's also another station right here, which will be Mill Hill. And then we're going to come up this way and into Blackburn Station, just over here. We're going to put in one station along here and another one just along here. This line splitting into two. I'm also going to have a line just next to the station coming straight past, and into another tunnel along here. But firstly we need to connect up these lines, because how else are we going to come through the line? So from here we are just going to continue along to Rishton Station. Now I'm just going to put a massive bridge along all of these, and then come into our next station of whatever that name is. I'm not even going to try and pronounce it. But at least we can come into our next station of Accrington. And I'll come straight out of this shithole to Huncote Station. And then Hepton, and apparently I can't read because that's an A and not an E. And this here will be Rosegrove Station, which to be fair the platforms are wider apart than your mother's flaps. So from here we are going to continue along to our next station of Burnley Barracks. So we're going to quickly change that, and we can now continue on our way to Burnley Central. where I'm just going to move this about and just get that right. So it will be Burnley Central and it will be coming straight out of it. And onto a bridge. Okay, cross section again. Then into Briarfield. Then the station will be called Nelson. Don't ask, they clearly ran out of place names. And then this station here will be Colne. And with another line complete, we can now come all the way down to Ormskirk, because we are going to connect this up to Preston. And this station here will be Buxton Junction. I'm going to bridge across that, but also stay on the lower level. And also come into Rufford Station. And I should have kept all of this on a bridge. And we're going to fly straight by to Croston Station, which will be the final station in the section up until Preston. And like that we get into Preston. So now we've got that done, we need to continue on this line that we did previously, and we're going to do the Liverpool Lime Street to Manchester Oxford Road. So first up, we are going to be stopping at Wiston, and followed off by Rainhill. Then Lee Green, St Helens Junction, which is kind of confusing considering there is no junction there, apart from the one that's probably been destroyed for multiple years. And now we're going to come into Earlstown. I'm going to put one platform all the way up here, a lovely curved platform over here for now, and another curved platform over here. Well, I'm also going to need to curve that one a little bit, so at least all of it considers it as one station. So we're going to have this curve into there, just come along like that, this curve into there, and this curve onto the line that we will be using. So now it's Earlstown done, we can continue to Newton Le Willows. I'm going to use a bridge across that, and then continue a bridge across this main line here. So we're going to stay on this bottom bit and just zoom our way across. Tunnel under that road, and we can continue along to Patrickcroft Station. Also we'll need to bridge across this little bit and bridge across that road as well. Now we're going to continue across and into Eccles Station. And I'm going to come flying along here. And up into Deansgate and Manchester Oxford Road. And then we will also be using a service to go all the way down to Manchester Airport, which we have the availability to do so. I tried finding documentation for the Warrington Bank Quay to Liverpool Lime Street service, but I can't, so without further ado I'm just going to skip over that, and we are going to do the Ellesmere Port to Helsby service, where we go straight through Stanlow Station. So we will not be stopping here, but we'll be stopping at this station here. And then we'll be flying into our final station at Helsby, which will look something like this if I get the actual lines done properly. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the Manchester Piccadilly all the way down to Crewe line. There are two lines for this, one being this separate line over here, and this one that we're going to start off first. To start off, we will be coming into Manchester Piccadilly Airport and coming straight down, which will need this specific line. but I am also going to just bring in a line coming straight through like this. However, I will be putting in the first station here. However you pronounce that, I am not entirely sure. However, we will be crossing that river and then coming into Wilmslow station with its extra wide platforms. So we will be using both of these, so I'm only going to build as far as there, but I will have these two connect up like so. And then into our next station at Alderley Edge. And then we can continue on along. The station here is Chelford. Apparently it does come under the Northern, however we will not be stopping here at the moment. Same applies to this station of Goostray, where we will also not be stopping there at the moment. But we will be coming into Holmes Chapel just here. However, we will be coming into this station here, which will be Sandbach. And now we're going to continue down this line to our destination of Crewe, where we're going to just quickly come into this platform just here. However, I will be kind enough to put in a connection into that line to continue down the line. And now we're going to come back up here. So I'm going to switch onto another track here. I'm going to come into Levenholme station. All of these stations were already built when I did the Avanti West Coast, which came through here. So that will be Heaton Chapel, which we'll be stopping at. And then coming into Stockport. And also making a connection to that platform before we head off down this line. So we're just going to continue flying down this entire section for now, and then having the ability to stop at either one of these two platforms. Although this platform is quite deadly apparently. When I did this, I did not know how to do curved stations whatsoever. However, I will be continuing down this section of track up into Hanforth station, and then where we will now continue into Wilmslow and all the way down into Crewe. The next service pattern will be Manchester Piccadilly to Alderley Edge, but we already have that built in. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do Manchester Piccadilly all the way over to Chester. So we're going to follow this line down to Stockport, where we're going to wonderfully curve off and come all the way around. Coming underneath of this roundabout firstly. So we're going to come straight past here, where I'm going to come underground and stay under for that one main line. Now I'm going to come all the way along and up on this section here, and then down into our first station at Navigation Road. Also going to just slightly move the station up a little bit so we have no interference with that, and then we can continue down into Alternate. So connect that, and then we can continue on our way and straight into Hale Station. And of course there's a little bit of road that annoys me. And then coming into Ashley Station. And then Moberly, and obviously I have to fix that. And then we can continue on to Knutsford. Which will be right here. And somehow that whole section isn't giving me grief, which I am kind of surprised about. But of course, as I'm talking about it, this section wants to. And then we're going to come into Plumley Station. And and then Lowestoft Garden. Never mind, that is definitely not how you spell garden. Fucking Midlands with their stupid names. Anyways, this will be Northwick. And I'm going to come all the way along here to Greenbank. Because then when going Chester, we're going to stay underneath. So we're going to stay underneath all of this, because there's going to be an interference with both of those, which is going to do something like that. And into Cuddington. Well, we're also going to quite swiftly move on. And into Delamere Station. And then we're going to continue all the way up to our next station, where even every single council will agree with this station's name, and it will be Molesworth. Now, straight out of here, we are now heading towards Chester Station. And just like that, we're going to connect up right inside of an Avanti West Coast train. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do Manchester Piccadilly all the way down to Stoke-on-Trent. We'll be following this line, but we also have stations that we have along this section, because we also put these in when we were doing the Avanti West Coast. So we want this because we are coming out of the Helsby station. For simplicity, I think I'm just going to use this section and then just like come out about there and actually follow the entire section like so, and also use Adlington Station across the entire section here and link it up there to where I'm going to link it back in there, come all the way over to this section. I'm going to run parallel to the main line here, where this station here will be Prestbury. Obviously I might have missed a couple of stations, this one being one of them. And here I'm just going to link it up there. So now we're going to continue along this line, which then merges into Macclesfield. I don't know what I've done here when I was building this line, but this line definitely continues straight like so. I reckon on the old version of the NIMBY Rails maps, that is where it told me to go, but it isn't. That will be Congleton, Kidsgrove, and then finally into Stoke-on-Trent. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do Manchester Piccadilly all the way over to Buxton Station over here. So whilst I'm here, I'm just going to put in the station and just put this through along here, even though that is not actually the correct line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come all the way up to Hazel Grove, because that's where we finished off on this line. And from here, this is where I'm going to continue the line from, and this is at Disley. Well, I'm going to bridge across this and enjoy the road up until, nope, that's Disley. This station, of which this is actually Disley, which means this here will actually be Middlewood. I thought that was Disley because that was the next station on my list, although we are stopping there apparently. Well, we're not, but it's along the route. And this here will be at New Mills Newton, or Newtown, whatever. And this will be Furness Vale. And only a couple more stops to go. This here will be Wadey Bridge. And oh my gosh, this isn't going so well. But then this will be whatever that is. Next station isn't on my list, but apparently it is Northern Line owned, so we have to put it in regardless. And then this will take us all the way down to Buxton, like so. And then there's also a route between Manchester Piccadilly and Hazel Grove, which we already have built anyways. So now we've got all that done, we are now going to do the Manchester Piccadilly all the way over to Hatfield. But before we do that, we are going to put in all of the lines between these two stations, starting off with this station here of Ardwick. Now, as you see, it does kind of overlap our current row line, so we're just going to put it all the way back here for the time being. And then we're just going to slip that in where the actual station is at the moment. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in all these stations along here because all of these are Northern owned. However, most of these stations we will not be stopping on this line, but we'll be stopping on the next couple of lines. This one here will be Gorton. I'm just going to slightly move that over a bit before we move over to our next station of Fairfield. So now we're going to continue along. And this one will be Guide Bridge. So I'm going to move that slightly up, and we will be continuing along this section because that other section is the Trans-Pennine service. And we're also going to be continuing along this side, however we will be going along and curving off that side in a short while. So this one here will be Newton for Hyde. Going to disconnect this and also fix this before we continue on our way to Godley Station. And we will continue all the way down to Hattersley. And we're going to come out of Hattersley and come up to our next station of Broadbottom. And I'm going to come through and up across here, where from here we are going to have one line come across. We're going to have one station just in here, and the other just up here. So this one will continue like so, with a little curve off across here, and also up here. So here we're going to have it like this. We're also going to curve it through into Dinting Station. Also, we're going to have this curve all the way up to Hadfield Station. And then just link that up. I'm going to come all the way over here as well to Glossop Station, and we are also going to have the same line come through. Now during this section I am just going to make sure that there are the right signals along all sections. And just like that, all of the platform sides also have signals, so we can now continue on. And now we're going to do Manchester Piccadilly to Rosehill Marple, but firstly we've got to put in Hyde North Station. And we shall continue on from here to Hyde Central. And now I'm going to come out of Hyde and onto our next station of Woodley. So we're going to continue down this line and curve across and into whatever station this is called. I'm not even going to bother try pronouncing it because I will just get it wrong. However, we're going to come out into a tunnel and continue along here. We're going to bridge across these and have one line continue along, but this one will be ours for now, all the way to Rosehill Marple. And now we are going to do the line all the way over into New Mills Central, so we're going to come straight over that and into Marple Station, linking this, and we can instantly come down. And into our next station at Strines. So linking that up, we can now go instantly into our final station on this branch line, and that is New Mills Central. And like that, that is done. Now the next line will be between Manchester, Piccadilly to Sheffield, but luckily when we did the East Midlands Railway, we put in the exact line that we are looking for and all these stations into Sheffield. So now with them done, we can come all the way over to Southport Station, because we are going to be using the top platform here and coming straight out. And coming straight into our first station of Meals Cop. I'm going to come straight down. And we're going to say fuck this. And we're going to put Best Car Station into here. And we shall continue along the line. Especially to another one of these joint platform stations of New Lane. And we're going to come to Burlescove Bridge Station and pretty much instantly leave it. Going to come above the main line here and go over all these little bits of river as well and into Hoscar Station. We're going to continue into Parboyd Station. And we shall continue along to the next bridge, which is going to be right here, and rightfully so, because this is Apley Bridge. I'm going to come on a bridge all the way across these and into our next station of Gathurst. We're going to link that up, and I'm going to come into Wigan Station in a few minutes' time. And then into Wigan Woolgate Station. And now we're just going to come along and link this up, just like so, where we're going to come along this line and connect Wigan up to Manchester. But before we get there, we have to go through these stations first, and this one is Aints. And just like that, we come straight out and into the next station of Hindley. So now we're going to continue along, and we're going to come up on the top branch. So we're not going to be using this service, although that is also on the northern, but for now we are going to continue along and into our next station here. I'm also not going to try to pronounce this because there's too many letters in the name, but this should link us directly up to Bolton Station, where I think I'm just going to put this line next to it for the time being, and then curve it into the line there where it goes into Bolton Station, and then comes flying into our station of Manchester Oxford Road. But for the next one between Southport to Studley Bridge, you're going to come all the way up to Salford Crescent, because we're going to come curving off this line and into Salford Central. So we're now going to come out of Salford Station like this, and come into Manchester Victoria Station just in this gap here. So we're going to cross that over, and we're also just going to do this line as well very quickly. We're going to come out underneath all of these. Well, one of our lines is going to continue that way. We are going to be curving off though towards Stally Bridge. And this station here should be Ashton under Lynn. And then we're going to be flying into our terminus station of Stally Bridge, where we are going to use the top branch, or top station I should say, and terminate into there. And now with that branch done, we are going to be doing Headbolt Lane Station all the way up into Blackburn, going the wrong way round. But without further ado, let's go all the way down to Headbolt Lane Station and continue this line down. And our next station will be Rainford. And now we shall continue on to Up Holland. And then Orrell Station, Pemberton Station, and then all the way into Wigan Wallgate right here. So now we're going to come into Manchester Victoria, but more importantly all the way up here, because we're going to continue on this line section. This station here will be Moston Station, and we shall continue along. Where we're going to come into Mills Hill Station. We're going to connect that up and continue along. And this here will be Castleton Station. Now I'm going to come out and straight into Rochdale Station here. I'm going to come straight out of the station and the station here will be Smithy Bridge. So now we continue. Fuck this. So this will be Littleborough Station. Like I've said earlier, I am not doing those split platforms because they are a pain in the arse. Just like these roads. And just like these roads. Because how is that blocking where I'm going, but sure. We're going to stay in a tunnel across this section since we are in a tunnel, it seems. And this here will be Walston Station. And now I'm going to continue. And into Todmorden Station. And come straight out. And we're going to be curving this direction. And this station here will be Burnley and Manchester Road. So linking in this section up, now come along all of this and link up with this line here that we have completed all the way over to Blackburn. Now the next line will be Blackburn to Rochdale, but we already have that completed. Now with those couple of lines already completed, we're going to come all the way down to your mother's favourite station and do the line all the way down to Rochdale. And then we're going to come to the first station along here and then come over to your mother's favourite second station of Langho. I'm going to come around this bend. Of course, one of these have an issue. And the next station will be right here. So I'm going to delete all that and then just connect that up there. The station will be Ramsgrave and Wiltshire. And now we're going to come all the way down into Blackburn. And just like that, we come into Blackburn station, where we're going to curve off the line just here and come along this branch here. And now approaching our first station of Darwin. And now I'm going to continue. To Entwistle. I'm going to come all the way along, cross a reservoir and continue. And into Bromley Cross station. So we're just going to put this station here. Don't even ask what the fuck that station name is. I think people in the Midlands should just reconsider life at this point with half of the fucking names. And now I'm going to come along this tunnel, which isn't a tunnel, and into Bolton station, where it's going to come along through Salford and along the line we made a minute ago to Rochdale. Now with your mother's favourite line complete, we can come all the way over to Bradford interchange, because we're going to be doing the Bradford interchange to Huddersfield line, which will involve us coming over towards Bradley town here and having this line all the way along. Well, no idea what that station is, but we're going to come all the way down into Huddersfield station. So that's how that section is going to go. We're going to have this as a terminating platform and that as another, and we're going to have this as a through platform. So now we're just going to link up our two stations and also link up this Transpennine station up with Bradford International. Now the next line will be Leeds into Bradford Forster Square, but we also already have that service. This one doesn't actually feature on the list I have, but we're going to put in Bradford interchange to Leeds. This one shows on my TOC map, but not on the Wikipedia page for Northern. So we're going to come into New Pudsey station and come straight out of it. And then we can come into Bramley station. And now we're going to just follow this line, which basically curves us into Leeds station. And just like that, we come into Leeds station. So a new line will be Leeds all the way up to Ilkley station. So to come all the way down towards Appley Bridge. So we're just going to come along this line. And into Guiseley station. I'm going to come along. And straight away into Menston station. And then into Burley in Wharfdale. And then we're going to be approaching probably the weirdest sounding named stations of Ben riding your mother's cheeks. And then we're going to come into Ilkley station here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to be doing the Bradford Forster Square to Ilkley service. So we're going to come through Shipley station, and we're also just going to be coming off the line. And directly into Belden Station up here. Now we're going to just go along and pretty much directly into Guernsey Station and up to Ilkley. The next line is also Bradford Forster Square to Skipton, which we also have completed because of this Shipley station. No, which we also have completed because of this Shipley platform here, which links up to Skipton. Now our next service will be Leeds to York via Harrogate. Luckily we have the line all the way up to Harrogate, so all we need to do is start off from here. With the first station being Starbeck. And then this station here will be at Knaresborough. Once again, I'm messing up the lines just by fast forwarding that. The station here will be called Cattle. So now we're going to continue along to Hamerton Station, where we're going to continue along to Popperton Station, and then from here we should just land into York Station. And just like so. With the really long York line done, we are now going to come all the way down to Nottingley for our next couple of services, because we are going to be doing the Leeds to Nottingley line. The first one being all the way up here, so we're going to continue on this line. And then our first station will be Woodlesford, and we can continue on to our next station. So from here we are going to curve right, just so we can come towards our second station on this branch. And this will be Castleford Station. And that will link up like so. So now what we're going to do is we're going to be reversing out at Castleford and coming down this line. And into our next station here of that. And now we're going to be curving into Pontefract Monk Hill and then into Nottingley. Now our next line into Nottingley will be coming along this line through Westfield Westgate, and then zooming in, we're going to be curving along this section here and into Wakefield Kirkgate, so coming down this bend and along the line into Nottingley. Our next line will be Leeds into Doncaster, but because we've done the LNER already, that is already complete. And because we've done the cross country, the Leeds to Sheffield is also complete. So now what we're going to do is we are going to come out of Meadowhall here, and we're going to come all the way along this line, off at Barnsley and over towards Huddersfield. So first off, we're going to come down and continue on this line. And we're going to come into our first station of Chapeltown. So we're just going to link this up with the line, and we're going to continue on towards our next station. So the next station will be here, and this will be Ellesmere. So coming swiftly out. And into Wombwell. And now we're going to be zooming all the way into Barnsley Station. So we're just going to put it in this station here. And we're going to link this up. And we're just going to come underneath this. One line will continue up, but we are going to be curving off towards Huddersfield. Also going to very quickly fix that. And now we're going to be flying into our next station. And into Dodworth here. I'm going to come out. And into Silkstone Common Station. Just come back and fix that. And then we can continue on to our next station, which is everybody's favourite. It'll be located in this gap here. This will be Penistone Station. So now we're just going to be curving around the place. And now we're going to be coming into our next station of Denby Dale. So just linking that up and we can continue on to the next of Shepley. Which will be located here. And now we can continue to the next station of Stocksmore. Just like that. And then we can continue to the next of Brockholes. And then this here will be Brockhole Station. And now on we continue to Honley Station. And I'm going to continue to Berry Brow or Brow, and we're going to continue to the next station of Lockwood. Now we're going to come out of the station in a tunnel. I'm going to come round all of this into a bridge and into Huddersfield Station. Now our next line is Leeds to Castleford, but that is already completed. And now our next line will be Castleford to Sheffield. So we're going to come out of Castleford and we're going to be coming along this line and cutting through the Barnsley section. So now we're going to come into our first station of Normanton. So we're just going to link that up and continue on our way. So one line does in fact come down here, so we're just going to link this up, but for now we will be continue on straight into Wakefield Kirkgate, and then we're going to be coming down this line and then carving off right here as per usual. And our next station of Darton is right here. So just going to link this up and then we can continue coming out. And now we're going to come straight swimming into Barnsley and following this line into Sheffield Station. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do Leeds to Nottingham. So we're going to be going past Strumfield and Chesterfield and we're going to be curving off the line. I'm going to be curving off right here. And into our first station at Alfreton. So now we're going to continue along. And into Langley Mill. So we're going to come up and link that. And we will continue down. And then we are coming into Ilkeston Station. So we're just going to link this up and we can continue along. And we're going to be curving off the line here. And we're going to be coming just into Nottingham station, just like so. And now we're going to be doing the Leeds to Lincoln via Sheffield. So we're going to come all the way down into Sheffield station. And so what we're going to do is we're going to come into this platform here, and we're just going to bring this out. One line will continue across like so and back into the line. And then our branch will be coming off along this section. And then we're going to continue along to our first station of Darnall. And just continuing along. And into the next station of Woodhouse. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to be continuing this side. So we're going to be coming into Kiveton Bridge. At first glance, I thought this was Kiveton Park as well. But this one here is Kiveton Park. So now we continue. And now we're at Shire Oaks. And now we continue. And onto this line. So we're going to come into Worktop. And we're going to continue down this line. And into Retford Station. So now we're going to come along here. And come all the way up to Gainsborough Lee Road. I'm going to come up onto a bridge and connect up with this bridge and comes into Gainsborough Lee Road, Saxelby and Lincoln. So now our next line is Leeds to York, but as you see we also have that completely done. So now our next line will be Halifax all the way over to Hull. So we're going to come into Bradford Interchange and then come back out through Leeds, and we're going to be coming off at Micklefield. Into South Milford. So we're going to bridge across this main line here. Come underneath this road. And then kind of come around this chicane. And into Selby Station, all the way into Hull. And now our next line will be Doncaster to Scunthorpe. So without further ado, we're going to come out of this line. And into Kirksandall Station. And now we're going to continue along. And this station will be Hatfield and Stainforth. So you're going to bridge across this and come straight into this station here, which will be Thorn South. And this station here will be Crewe. I'm going to link that up and we'll continue along. And this station here will be Althorpe or Althorpe Station. You're going to bridge all the way along this and head all the way down to Scunthorpe by curving off here and into Scunthorpe Station. Now our next line will be Sheffield all the way up to Adwick. So we're going to come all the way down to Swinton and we're just going to curve off the line and into our first station of Mexborough. Just bridging along that. We can now continue. And this will be Colne station. And now I'm going to come out and bridge across this. Now I'm going to come along this section of the track. And we're going to be curving into the line at Doncaster to then come out and stop at Bentley and Alderley. Now our next line will be Sheffield all the way up to York. So we're going to come all the way down to Morpeth, and we're going to just bridge across all of these. And we'll be coming into Pontefract Bag Hill. So here we're going to turn right and connect up to this line. We're going to continue along, bridging over this line, and come into our next station to Saltburn, and we'll continue up and link up with our terminus stations. So now from Church Fenton, we're just going to come along here, so we are stopping at these couple of stops. And now from here, I'm just going to connect this into the main line and come straight into York Station. Now our next line will be Doncaster to Hull, but we are going to be coming through Thorn North. So we're going to be curving off here and straight into Thorn North Station. So linking these up, we can continue. And we can come straight into Gaul Station and continue. This station here will be Saltmarsh, and now we can continue and link up this line. Just like so, into Gilberdyke, Furbley, Hessel and Hull. Now our next line will be Sheffield to Scarborough, so we're going to come all the way down over to Beverley Station, where we're going to continue this piece of track. This station here will be Aram Station, so just linking this one up. We'll not be stopping here on this line, but it is a northern station. Just like this one, which will be called Hutton and Cranswick. And we'll be curving into Driffield Station. Why's this game so fucking laggy, man? And coming through Nafferton Station, which we'll be passing through. And curving into Bridlington Station. So we're just going to do a dodgy corner out. Now into Benton. And into Harmonby Station. And into Filey Station. So now we're going to just fly along here and connect up to the main line, which will go into Scarborough Station. And our next station will be here, and that will be Seymour Station. And then this here will be Scarborough Station. Now our next line will be Bridlington to York. Luckily we have most of this line done. All we have to do is come all the way over to here and curve off this section to then connect up onto this line into York. And now our next line will be Leeds all the way up to Carlisle. So we're going to come all the way down to Skipton and continue off this line. Our first section will be here, and this will be Gargrave. This section here will be Hellfield. So now we're just going to use this little branch and come underneath that line and continue up like so. Then a section here will be Long Preston. And now we will be curving off this way, but this section is also a Northern Line owned line. So we'll just be putting that in for the time being, but we will be continuing this side and into Settle Station. We're going to come into a tunnel around about here. Just bypass all of that. Didn't last long because we have to cross a fucking river. And this station here will be Horton in Ribblesdale. And this station here will be Ribblehead. And this station just coming up here will be Dent. And I'll put that in. And then coming around this bend and up to our next station of Garsdale. So curving along here. And then coming into our next station just here of Cuckby Stephen. And now we are curving into Applesby. Now we're going to continue along. Oh yeah, fucking right, man. This station, according to the TOC map, does not exist, so we're just going to continue. And into Langworthby station. Now only a couple more stations to go. This will be our next station of whatever that is, but we'll continue onto our penultimate station on this branch. And this will be Armouth White. And then finally we will be approaching Carlisle in just a moment. And now I'm just going to bridge up and connect that into that line and into Carlisle station. Now our next line will be Leeds over to Morecambe, so we're just going to come all the way over to Long Preston, but more importantly up here. And this will be the first station of Giggleswick. This station here will be Clapham, despite the fact Clapham is nowhere near. And then into Bentham Station. Now we're coming to the penultimate station that we need to build. And this will be at Wellington Station. We're going to come out, instantly across a bridge, and pretty much all the way straight to Carnforth. And just like that, we come into Carnforth Station, then all the way down into Morecambe. Now our next line is York, all the way over to Blackpool North. So we're going to have to come all the way down to Halifax, but more specifically this junction over here. So we're going to curve off. And of course that's going to give us issues because it's NIMBY rails. Why wouldn't it? And now we're going to come down to our first station. Now I'm going to come straight out. And stopping into whatever this station is. And to the first actual stop that we will be doing on this line will be at Hebden Bridge. So we're going to use this branch up here to come through into Burnley. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just connect this up, since both are northern. So now from here that is complete. Now our next line will be leads to Manchester Victoria. So we're going to be coming down the line we just made so far, curving down at Todmorden and all the way into Manchester Victoria. So now our next line will be leads all the way to Wigan Woolgate. So we're going to have to come all the way over to Salford Crescent. So we're going to be curving off right here. And coming into Swinton Station, and coming straight out and into the next. And this station will be called Moorside. And this station will be Warrington. And then into Atherton Station. And straight into Hagfold, and then Daisy Hill. And now we're going to be coming all the way along here and connecting up into Hindley and Ince stations and coming into Wigan Woolgate. And now our next line will be leads to Chester. So leads to Manchester Victoria, and more specifically Newton Le Willows is already complete. So we're going to be stopping at this platform at Earlstown, and we're going to be coming down this line here, connecting up with this line to then curve off here and into this platform at Warrington Bank Quay. So we're going to come out of Warrington Bank Quay, and then we're going to curve off here and over the main line there. This station here will be Runcorn East, so just linking that up there, then continuing down. And then coming out from the tunnel there, and bridging all across here. And this here will be at Frosham Station, coming along to a tunnel under here, and up onto the ground. And then coming all the way down into Helsby Station. And this will be one way into Chester. And just like that we come into Chester, which means the entirety of the Northern is now complete. The Northern in its entirety is costing $3,498,730,216, which as you can see on screen, is only 2.3 million more expensive than the cross country, which means that the Northern so far is the most expensive line, and I think it will stay that way. So we're going to build all blueprints, which means we are going to be coming onto the line making. And after 2 excruciatingly painful hours of my life wasted, I have now done all of the services of Northern. So as we spawn in all the trains, you can start to see all of the Northern trains just start filling the map. But however, we will simulate a full 24-hour period and see how much money the Northern makes. Now we are at the next official full day of service. Yes, we were like a couple of hours into that other day, so we've skipped a whole entire day. But as we can see, if we scroll down, we can see there's a lot of Northerns, but you may not be able to see it because it's behind my webcam. So basically I have calculated every single Northern Line branch by putting them into a lovely spreadsheet, and as you can see, the Northern makes $24,800,810 in its first day of service. Anyways, that will be it for today's NIMBY Rails video on the Northern. I will be back in 2 weeks time for the ScotRail. So I'll see you all then. Goodbye.